What's a really awkward situation that everyone can relate with? Someone trying to initiate a handshake after you've just washed your hands. It's either a few awkward seconds of quickly drying your hands on your jeans, or shaking their hand anyway and seeing the discomfort in their eyes. Saying, "Hello," or "How are you," to somebody and getting 100% ignored. Someone showing everyone in the group something on their phone and waiting until it is your turn. Having your stomach rumble in the middle of a quiet class meeting. Removed. Not being able to pick up when someone else is completely disinterested in what you are talking about. Ever drag your shoe across a tile floor and have it make a loud, wet fart sound, so everyone in the room looks at you? Then you insist it was your shoe and try to make the sound again. But nothing happens. Yeah, that. When you run out of things to say during a conversation and you're not quite sure how to end it. When you've had multiple interactions with someone but you can't remember their name but it's gone too far to admit you've forgotten it, so you just have to call them love or mate forever. Being called on to answer a question you really have no idea how to answer. Being at a friend's house as a kid and the friend's mother starts yelling at your friend. Being at a friend's house as a kid and the friend's father walks in only wearing underwear. Watching a sex scene with your parents. When you think someone waves at you so you wave back, but they were waving at someone behind you. When you're finishing up at the checkout and the cashier puts the notes on top of the receipt and then coins on top of that. Then the next person steps up and you're fumbling, trying to disassemble the stack in your hand. Gather your shopping, say thanks and move away at the same time. When someone asks what's going on, and you respond, "Good, you." When you are video chatting, start talking and because of the delay you interrupt each other all the time. Stop talking. Start again. Interrupt the other one. Stop talking. Never-ending story. The fake smile on your face when you receive a terrible gift. When you're walking and almost trip for no reason and look back at the invisible stick that you tripped on. When you reply to a stranger who says hello, but then realize they were on the phone and not speaking to you. Happened to me just yesterday and I didn't get in any sleep last night as I couldn't stop reliving the moment. When you say a funny joke but all you get is silence. When you're saying goodbye to someone, and then you both end up walking in the same direction. Or when you turn and walk into a wall with people watching. When you're having a conversation with someone and you don't hear what they say so you ask them to repeat and they do, but you still don't hear it and ask them to repeat again and they do, and you still don't know what they said. Do you ask them to repeat again, and maybe still not hear it? Pretend you heard it and nod your head and hope it's an appropriate response. Stab yourself in the eye with a pen to create a diversion and change the subject. When you swallow water wrong and it turns to a coughing fit in 2020. When you're walking past a co-worker and you've already said hello earlier. Everyone's making that weird flat smile. When you walk out of the store empty-handed, feeling like you've just stole something. standing there while two people talk about something you don't know about. Go to wash your hands and the water comes out at 1,000 miles an hour, splashing your crotch. You are, of course, at work, walking through a doorway only to catch your clothes on the handle and have it slingshot you backwards. When you try to contribute to a conversation and someone cuts you off multiple times. When you go for a hug but the other person goes for a handshake. So you start with a handshake but do a weird hug at the same time with your hands in each other's crotches. Stalking someone on social media and accidentally liking a comment from months, years ago. Coming out of a public toilet after laying a beast and there is someone waiting to go in the cubicle. That awkward moment where you and somebody else try to let each other speak but you both try speak at the same time and just keep failing. When you're walking on a sidewalk with two other friends and you're the person that does not fit, so you have to stay behind them. When someone keeps calling you by a wrong name, you let it slide to begin with, thinking they have just made a mistake. But then it carries on for such a long time that you can never correct them. When you start to tell a story in a group but in middle of sentence realize that no one is actually listening and ever so slowly you get quiet and hope no one took notice. Having "Happy Birthday" sung to you. Farting while coughing or sneezing. When you're out and someone approaches you with "Oh hi, asterisk insert name, asterisk. Nice to see you again." And you have no idea who that person is. When you say something funny and no one reacts, so you say it again and they are like, "Why did you just repeat that stupid joke?" When you're on a public bathroom and someone tries to open the door even though it's locked. When you're at a friend's house and their parents are yelling at them, sometimes beating them. I'm not sure if everyone can relate to this, but one of the most awkward situations I've ever found myself in was being invited to meet my girlfriend's family, and over dinner her parents got into a massive fight. Calling your teacher mom. As a nurse, you are commonly thanked by a patient when you leave their room. Once in a while they something else, and the "you're welcome" comes out by habit. When you start a story and it gets interrupted a bunch of times so that what was an amazing story with a kick-ass finish punchline is instead just a waste of time now. Kind of knowing someone in the office. Well, you guys spoke that one time. So now every time you see each other, in the lift, walking down the corridor, you have to decide where to put your eyes until you, naturally, see each other and say hi. Hug. You ever clogged a toilet in somewhere that wasn't your house? Thank guys. My inbox is now clogged with all of your oversized shit stories. Can't wait to binge read all of it. When you're pissing in a urinal and a dude just pulls up to the one beside you, even though there are 8 urinals available. Bumping into an inanimate object and apologizing to it. Forgetting someone's name and having to introduce them to someone. When you accidentally say "you too" after someone says something that isn't compatible with that statement and you just stare. awkwardly at each other. When you ask someone a question, but can't hear the answer, then you ask them again and still can't hear them. Then just saying, okay, and praying you don't need to know whatever it was they said. When you type your password in the username box while someone is watching. Being expected to make polite conversation while having a gynecological exam. There you are, pussy exposed, legs spread wide. Someone is stuffing something up your vagina, and you're expected to be able to talk about the weather. When the restroom stall doors naturally fall shut and there's no vacancy indicator, so you have to knock or push at the door to check if it is empty. The accidental fart. When you're walking behind someone that has a slightly slower pace than you, so you start to pass them, but then have that awkward moment when you're walking next to them before you cut in front of them. For the guys, when you want to get out of a chair and go somewhere but you had a random boner pop up out of nowhere. Not hearing what the other person said, so you just nod and smile, praying it wasn't a question. Ordering a food delivery and getting the same delivery person as you did last time. Bonus points if it's been a week or less since your last delivery. When the server brings your food and says, "Enjoy your food," and starts walking away and you say back, "You too." Would you like to round up your bill for charity? I always feel like a dick when I say no. When someone tries to give you a fist bump but you go for a high five. When you're home alone, so you take a poop with the door open. Then you suddenly hear the front door of the house open. When you're next in line at the grocery store with your mom and she leaves you to just get one more thing, and the anxiety and awkwardness builds because you're up and she's nowhere to be found. When your friend sees a friend and starts talking and you just stand there because you're conditioned to keep your mouth shut, but in reality I think I'm supposed to introduce myself. Pooping at someone else's house. When you think you hung up the phone but you didn't and proceeded to say something unflattering about the person you were talking to. When you want to tell something important, funny and everyone is listening but you start to stutter and cannot find the words etc. Ends up with everyone silent. When the person says no when you asked him out. When you remember something awkward in public and you audibly cringe or make weird faces. When you go to someone's house and their big-ass dog won't stop jumping on you or licking you. Slapping a stranger's ass in the grocery store and realizing it's not your significant other. When you befriend someone and they ghost you a week later. Literally forgetting a person's name 3 seconds after they've told it to you. You are surrounded by strangers. Let's say a bus. No cell phone. No headphones. You remember a really stupid and funny thing and you start laughing. Congratulations. Now everyone is looking at you asking why the fuck you're laughing. When you're the +1 at a party when no one else brought a +1. When you're at a self-serve place or retail store and presented a tablet that asks for a tip percentage. You know there shouldn't be a tip because there is no service aspect to it. But you feel obligated because there is a person watching you. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe for more content.